Ethiopia, known for its rich history, vibrant culture, and deep religious significance, has long been a focal point in biblical studies. As one of the oldest civilizations in the world, Ethiopia's connection to the Bible is not just historical, but profoundly spiritual. Its place in biblical prophecy and eschatology, particularly its relationship to end-time events, is often discussed, but seldom fully understood. From being described as the land of Cush in the Old Testament, to claims of its royal lineage descending from King Solomon, Ethiopia's biblical role extends far beyond mere geography. But could this ancient kingdom, sometimes referred to as Cush, hold a central role in the unfolding of the end times? Is it possible that Ethiopia is not just a witness to biblical prophecy, but an active participant in the ultimate fulfillment of God's plan for humanity? In this article, we will explore Ethiopia's connection to the Bible, its place in end-time prophecy, and its role in the dramatic events leading up to the second coming of Christ. The first mention of Ethiopia in the Bible appears in Genesis 2:13, where it is identified as the land of Cush, one of the regions surrounding the Garden of Eden. The Bible doesn't go into great detail, but the reference places Ethiopia, or Cush, at the very center of biblical history, immediately following the creation narrative and the flood. Genesis 2:13 reads, "The name of the second river is the Gihon. It is the one that flows around the whole land of Cush." This mention suggests that Cush, Ethiopia, was one of the first places to emerge in post-flood civilization, establishing its importance in early human history. But the significance of Ethiopia extends beyond its geographical placement. It is the land of the descendants of Ham, Noah's son, and its people are regarded as one of the earliest branches of humanity, serving as a bridge between the ancient world and the nations that would later play pivotal roles in biblical history. In the Bible, the descendants of Cush are often portrayed as both powerful and enigmatic, with later texts in the Old Testament connecting Ethiopia with both blessings and curses. Isaiah 18, for example, introduces Ethiopia as a nation that will make offerings to God in the last days. In this way, Ethiopia is cast not just as a geographic region, but as a key player in the unfolding of God's eternal plan for salvation. Ethiopia's role in biblical prophecy isn't confined to its ancient beginnings. Prophets like Isaiah envisioned a future in which Ethiopia would again be prominently featured in God's redemptive plan. Isaiah 18, a chapter filled with vivid imagery and prophetic foresight, speaks of a mighty nation beyond the rivers of Cush that will bring gifts to the Lord of hosts. Isaiah 18:7 reads, "At that time tribute will be brought to the Lord of hosts from a people tall and smooth, from a people feared far and wide, an aggressive nation of strange speech, whose land is divided by rivers." This prophecy hints at Ethiopia's significant role in the end times, symbolized by their tribute to God. This tribute, which could symbolize the restoration of the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem, presents Ethiopia not just as a bystander, but as a key participant in the events leading to Christ's return. The restoration of the Ark of the Covenant is one of the most significant eschatological events in the Bible. For centuries, the Ark has been lost to history, but many scholars and theologians believe that its return is intertwined with the second coming of Christ. One of the most captivating aspects of Ethiopia's involvement in this prophecy is its claim to have safeguarded the Ark since the time of King Solomon. According to Ethiopian tradition, the Ark was taken to Ethiopia by Menelik I, the son of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, after a fateful meeting between the two monarchs. Ethiopian Christians have long held that the Ark resides in the Church of St. Mary of Zion in Aksum, Ethiopia, where it is said to be guarded by a solitary monk. This claim, whether historically accurate or not, places Ethiopia at the center of one of the Bible's most enduring mysteries. If the Ark is indeed in Ethiopia, its eventual return to Jerusalem would signify a profound moment in prophecy, one marking the final steps before the establishment of God's kingdom. The Ark of the Covenant, once the most sacred object in the Israelite temple, was a symbol of God's presence among his people. According to the Bible, the Ark was lost after the Babylonians destroyed the first temple in 586 BC. Since that time, it has become the subject of much speculation. While some theories suggest that the Ark was hidden before the destruction of Jerusalem, Others point to Ethiopia as the ark's final resting place. For centuries, the legend of the ark's disappearance from Jerusalem has been intertwined with the story of the Ethiopian monarchy. According to the Kebra Nagast, the ark was taken to Ethiopia by Menelik I, who was said to have been born of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba's union. The Kebra Nagast recounts that when Menelik visited Solomon in Jerusalem, he was enthralled by the wisdom of the king and took the ark with him on his return journey to Ethiopia. This would make Ethiopia the only nation in the world to claim direct custodianship of the Ark of the Covenant, a claim that carries immense spiritual and prophetic weight. Ethiopian tradition states that the Ark resides in the Church of St. Mary of Zion in Aksum, where it has been kept for centuries. The church itself is one of the most sacred places in Ethiopian Christianity, and it is believed to house the real Ark of the Covenant. However, the monk who guards the ark is reportedly only person permitted to view it. His role as custodian of the ark has led to speculation that Ethiopia's claim to the ark is not just symbolic, but part of a larger divine plan. If Ethiopia truly holds the ark, then the return of the ark to Jerusalem, whether through Ethiopia's direct involvement or otherwise, would be a momentous event in the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. One of the most fascinating connections between Ethiopia and the Bible is the claim of the Solomonic dynasty, the royal family of Ethiopia, to be descended from King Solomon. According to Ethiopian tradition, the Queen of Sheba, after visiting King Solomon in Jerusalem and being captivated by his wisdom, gave birth to a son, Menelik I. Menelik, in turn, returned to Ethiopia with the Ark of the Covenant, establishing the long-lasting Solomonic dynasty. The dynasty, which lasted until the overthrow of Emperor Haile Selassie in 1974, claimed direct descent from King Solomon, thereby tying the Ethiopian monarchy to the Davidic line. This connection places Ethiopia at the center of biblical prophecy, particularly in relation to the coming of the Messiah. According to the Bible, the Messiah will return to restore the throne of David, and Ethiopia's claim to the Davidic line suggests that this nation plays a pivotal role in the unfolding of God's redemptive plan. Ethiopia's role in the end times is also highlighted in the prophetic visions of Ezekiel and Revelation. In Ezekiel 38 verse 5, Ethiopia is mentioned as one of the nations that will be involved in the final battle against Israel in the last days. The Gog and Magog prophecy outlines a scenario in which a coalition of nations, including Ethiopia, will rise up against the nation of Israel, only to be defeated by divine intervention. Revelation 16 verses 12 to 16 also speaks of a gathering of the nations in the regions in the Region of Armageddon. While the text does not explicitly mention Ethiopia, its inclusion in the prophetic literature suggests that the nation will play a significant role in the final confrontations between good and evil. One of the most intriguing aspects of Ethiopia's connection to the Bible is the mystery surrounding the true location of Mount Sinai, the sacred mountain where Moses received the Ten Commandments. Traditionally, Mount Sinai has been placed in the Sinai Peninsula in Egypt. However, some scholars argue that the real Mount Sinai is located in Ethiopia, based on biblical descriptions and geographical evidence. If Mount Sinai is indeed in Ethiopia, this would place Ethiopia at the center of one of the most important moments in biblical history, the giving of the law. The implications for the nation's role in biblical prophecy would be profound, suggesting that Ethiopia is not just a witness to God's work, but a direct participant in the covenant between God and his people. The Beta Israel, or Ethiopian Jews, have a long history in Ethiopia, and many believe they are descendants of the ancient Israelites. This community claims to have been part of the lost tribes of Israel, which were dispersed after the Assyrian conquest in the 8th century BC. The connection between Ethiopia and the lost tribes of Israel further highlights the country's central role in biblical prophecy, particularly regarding the restoration of Israel in the last days. Some scholars and theologians believe that the return of the lost tribes is a critical event in the final days, and Ethiopia's connection to these tribes gives it a unique role in the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. In this sense, Ethiopia's participation in the end times may not only be political, but spiritual, as a nation that holds key connections to the Israelite people. Ethiopia is an ancient nation with deep biblical ties, and its role in end-time prophecies may be far more significant than we ever imagined. From the potential resting place of the Ark of the Covenant to its royal lineage descending from King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, Ethiopia's biblical history is rich with mystery, faith, and prophecy. In this video, we explore Ethiopia's profound connection to key biblical events, its potential role in the return of Christ, and its place in the final battles of prophecy. Could Ethiopia, mentioned in Genesis and Isaiah, play a pivotal role in the fulfillment of biblical prophecies? Could it be the true Zion, the guardian of the Ark, or a key player in the apocalyptic events leading to Christ's return? Join us as we dive into Ethiopia's powerful legacy, uncover its intriguing mysteries, and explore the prophetic significance of this ancient nation. Don't forget to subscribe to Bible Light's channel for more thought-provoking videos on hidden prophecies and biblical mysteries. Share this video with others who are fascinated by biblical history and end-time prophecies.